Hello, everyone, and I hope you're having a great start to your week. It is Monday, time for my weekly draft video. And we're finally getting into Aether Revolt. We're done with Kaladesh, finally. And before we do this first draft, I need to announce the winners of the giveaway for this draft. So the winner of the physical prize was Michael Gleason, and the winner of the digital prize is Paul Strawn. So Michael Gleason will be winning two Aether Revolt booster packs, rather, and one Kaladesh booster pack, and Paul Strawn will be winning all the cards I draft and all the cards I win in this very draft video. So we're going to go ahead and jump into the queue now and see what happens. All right, so our rare is Metallic Mimic. It's definitely a solid rare. I mean, if you just think of it as a 2-mana 2/1 who says your next creature gets a +1/+1 counter, which is often what it'll be, it's pretty good. And it can have more upside than that. But there's some better cards in this pack, I think, than Metallic Mimic. I like taking Druid of the Cal first, or Aether Chaser, but I think Gifted Aetherborn's probably just the best of those three. It's just a great card. Death Touchers are always good, and this one can actually be a real offensive force and swing your life. Lifecraft Cavalry is also quite good, but I think I would rank the cards in this pack like Gifted Aetherborn, Druid, Mimic, and Chaser are close, and then probably Lifecraft Cavalry. But yeah, we're going to take Gifted Aetherborn here. I need to move this around, obviously, so you can actually see what I've taken. So yeah, the Aether Revolt just launched a couple hours ago on Magic Online, so this is the first one of these I'm doing on Magic Online. Okay, so here's an interesting pack. So Shock is quite good. It's good in basically every format it's ever been in. There's also another Aether Chaser, and there's also a Scrounging Bandar. I like Scrounging Bandar and Shock more than I like Aether Chaser, as much as I like the Chaser. So this is a relatively strong pack because I feel happy taking either of these. There's not really a black card worth taking this early in this pack, so we're not just going to try to stay black here. So it's either Shock or Bandar, and Shock is just a very efficient removal spell. So I think it's probably what I'll take here over the Bandar, although black-green kind of feels like a more synergistic deck to me than red-green does, that red-black does, rather. So that is worth thinking about, but I think I'm going to go ahead and take Shock. It's just a very efficient removal spell. It's always good, basically. So here we are, given the black-red gold card. Wow, white must be open because both Felidar Guardian and Airdrop's Aeronaut are very good. So that is worth thinking about. We've got another Bandar as well, and we also have the gold card for the two cards we've picked so far. But I have to say, I'm a little tempted to just move into white here instead because these two cards are both, I think, quite good and first pickable sometimes, and they're both still here, which is kind of insane. That is the question. Do we want the gold card that's in the colors we already have, or do we want to take a third color and see if we can make that work? I think because we're seeing white flowing so well, I'm going to go ahead and take the Aeronauts here, and we're going to see what happens. I like the Guardian a lot, but I like Aeronauts a little more. Obviously, the Guardian works really well with the Aeronauts. But, you know, all three of these cards are cards that I think are first pickable at least some of the time, with Shock probably being the least first pickable, but it is quite good. So I don't feel terrible about them being my first three picks. It's kind of like three first picks in a way. So we do need to figure out which two colors are more open, but I'm thinking we're going to see some more good white cards here in this first pack. Well, there's another good white card. We got Caught in the Brights and Deadeye Harpooner. I think I like Caught in the Brights a little more, even though the Harpooner is, you know, more, I guess, synergistic since we already have one Revolt card. But Caught in the Brights is just too good of a removal spell to pass. You know, it has the same problem that white removal had in triple Kaladesh draft in that, you know, it can be bounced or the creature can be blinked or bounced, like I said, and so it does have that downside, but Caught in the Brights is a great removal spell. It can also actually help you enable Revolt if you have vehicles. So it's kind of a silly way, not silly, but a difficult way of enabling Revolt, because if you attack with your vehicle, then your Caught in the Brights is exiled, and I mean not exiled, but the creature it's on gets exiled and it goes to your graveyard, so then you have Revolt. So okay, there's a good white card here. I do like the deep Dawn Feather Eagle. What else we got here? Another Druid of the Cow, which I like quite a lot, but I don't think it's what I want to take here. I think I'm probably just going to take Dawn Feather Eagle. Does give us another 5-drop flyer, but I think I'm okay with that. The other card, I mean, Druid of the Cow's probably just the best card in this pack, but I've committed enough to other colors I don't really want to go into it. And Dawn Feather Eagle's fine. I mean, it'll be a good card in our deck. But it does look like white's happening. I'm not a huge Death Dismissal fan, though, I have to say. That I mean, it's not terrible, and it may be what we just take here, but it is certainly not not great either. So we could take an Implement. It helps us get Revolt. We have one card with it already. And this isn't the worst thing. Like, pay 2, draw a card, you gain 2 life. You know, it's not quite a whole Magic card, but it's not terrible. And Death Dismissal is removable. I don't know what they were thinking making it cost 4. Like, we just had impeccable timing, and this is worse in a lot of ways. In most situations, it's worse. Implement. I could also take the Growth, but I think I'm going to take the Implement here over the other options. There's nothing very exciting in this pack. Death Dismissal, I guess, might be worth it. Maybe I'm hating on it a little too much, but okay. Not a very exciting vehicle. We wouldn't mind picking one up in general, but also it works well with Caught in the Brights. Augmenting Automaton's not bad. We already do have a foot in red. There's also a Frontline Rebel, though, and we could move into a red-white deck. And I don't hate the Rebel. You definitely have to be pretty aggressive for it to be good, but I think we can do that. The Automaton is not as good as the Rebel, but our Aetherborn is probably better than our Shock. So I think maybe I want to try to play the Aetherborn a little more. And black seems to be flowing okay. Of course, as I say that, this happens. Probably just take Decommission here. White's still looking great for us. Hidden Herbalist is a fine 2-drop if we were green. Green also seems quite open, but white's plenty open, and we'll take a Decommission here. Okay. So now do we take a Frontline Rebel? Wow, I think green's open too if Lifecraft... We've seen so many Druids of the Cal and Lifecraft Cavalry, so green might have been worth it. I'm going to take the Rebel now. Okay, here's a nice little 2-drop who's also an artifact, and that works well with things like Improvise. So I think I'm going to take the Automaton. I mean, he's just a nice little card. He's nothing exciting, but a 2-mana 2/1 who has some late game value in that if you're in a board stall, you have a mana sink. It's not terrible. Black seems the least open of our 3 colors, sadly, for our Gifted Aetherborn. But we'll see what happens. I'm glad we pivoted into white because I think we got paid off pretty well for that. Okay, this guy's still here too, though. So maybe black-red is where we should have stayed. No, I don't think so. Reservoir Walker, I guess, is what I'll take here. Not a card I love, but if we end up with ways to blink our cards, our creatures, it gets a little bit better. Yeah, I'll take Ether Herder. I just think it's the best card out of those remaining. Do I take this? Am I desperate enough for a 3-drop? I mean, I guess if I end up with Dapala, you know, it is a dwarf. Yeah, I guess I'll take it. We'll stick it in here for now, too. I don't know. Red also may not be incredibly open, but it definitely seems more open than black. Ooh, Gonti's Aetherheart. Mythic Time. How much is that worth? I would like the winner of the giveaway to... it's not worth much. I would like the winner of the giveaway to get some value, but Aetherheart is sort of... It's a mythic, so it's worth something, but it's not worth a lot because it's not... Probably not at least going to see play in a competitive constructed. So Scrapper Champion's really good. I like that card a lot. I think it's pretty first pickable. We also have another Shock, but I think Scrapper Champion's just better, even though Shock's obviously, you know, kills Scrapper Champion. Scrapper Champion's just a big beating if your opponent can't stop it. And I wouldn't mind wheeling like another Decommission or something here, but we'll take this guy. Okay, I also don't mind Aeronaut Admiral. We are getting kind of stacked on higher drops. We're going to need to pick up some 2s at some point. But I like Aeronaut Admiral. 4-mana 3/1's already good, and if we pick up a few vehicles, it gets way better. And chances are we pick up maybe 1 or 2. I like Cruel Finality. If we were still thinking about black, it's a solid card. Yep, I think I'm going to take the Admiral here. Another Death Dismissal. Ooh, I do love Treasure Keeper a lot. That's a card I like a lot, and I think it's just what we take here. Daring Demolition's great, but I actually think Treasure Keeper is just the best card in this pack. I like the card a lot. It's one of my favorite uncommons in this set to be able to pick up. It's also, I mean, it's an artifact. It's just a powerful card inherently, and being an artifact obviously matters in this format. So yeah, we're just gonna take Treasure Keeper. Okay, here's Renegade Wheelsmith. That's kind of what we're looking for. It's gold. So many Druids of the Cal. But we're going to take our card that's in our colors, and it's great if we get some vehicles rolling here. Weirdly, we haven't seen any. We don't really want Consulate Dreadnought. You know, you can do some silly things if you get siege modification and stuff like that, but I don't think that's what we're looking to do here. However, this pack is super underwhelming. Wow. Yeah, look, what do we even want here? Wrangle's the only card that's really in our colors. Seems like we're getting cut on white pretty hard here, but I am confident we'll see it in the third pack. We have a Reservoir Walker again, but I don't really know if I'm even going to play the first one. I think Cruel Finality is just the best card in this pack, incidentally. Hinterland Drake's fine, and Fen Holler too. The rest of the pack, kind of underwhelming. This can be pretty sweet. But yeah, I'll take Wrangle, I guess. I don't think I'll be playing it. We'd have to end up with a much more aggressive curve for Wrangle to be worth it, where you just want to like snatch a creature out of the way. And right now we're not really there. We just have 3s and 4s and 5s, too many of them. Like ideally, I probably won't play either of these, and we'll make our curve much lower in the coming packs. So that's what I'm aiming for anyway. Okay, here is an interesting pack. We've got Consulate Crackdown, which is like an A+ sideboard card, and I think is even mainboardable in this format. I mean, sometimes you'll just pay 5 and get rid of 1 artifact, but if that's your fail case, you're in pretty good shape. Vengeful Rebel's quite good, but we're not really capable of splashing. Our 2 real choices here are Restoration Specialist and Consulate Crackdown. The Specialist, we do have 1 aura and we have several artifacts, so it can get lots of things back. Also enables Revolt for our, 1 card that has it so far. Man, do I like the Crackdown more? I don't think so. We also desperately need 2s, so I think I'm going to go for the 2 here. Okay. We're left with kind of an underwhelming decision again here. I think we just take Alley Evasion. It's fine. It sort of does double duty, which makes it a lot better. If it was just one or the other, if it just did one thing and you didn't have a choice, it wouldn't be so good. But doing both is probably worth having in our deck, so we'll take it. Over another Wrangle there. Okay, another Frontline Rebel. Foundry Hornet's quite nice if you end up in the +1/+1 counter deck, but we'll take another Frontline Rebel. We really want to pick up the Tricks in our last pack because we have creatures that are just always going to be turning sideways. We'll take another Decommission. Whether we mainboard both, we will see. Okay, so we have... I mean, this is a 2-drop, but not one that's really up our alley. Do we want a Gear Smasher or Night Market Guard? I think we probably want the Gear Smasher a little more. We are stacked on 3-drops. Augmenting Automaton. I mean, you know, Conviction, I guess. I don't think I'm going to play it, but it's on color. Another Implement, but not one that's great for us. I guess I'll take Ice over. So yeah, we really want to pick up in this last pack our Combat Tricks and 2-drops, basically. And that, I think, will like sort of pull our deck together, where we've got lots of good 3s, we've got good removal, probably not playing Wrangle, and then we have a good sort of 4 mana and 5 mana things that we can do. Still no vehicles, which is kind of sad, between our Aeronaut Admiral and our Caught in the Brights, but maybe we'll get there. I don't think I want to play both Decommission's main board, so we'll see. We definitely have plenty of playables, so we probably don't want to play him either, ideally. He's just like a really bad 3-drop. If we get Depala, I guess maybe there's a reason, but that's about it. All right, well, this is an incredible rare, but not one in our colors, but we are pretty happy to take a Harness Lightning. I mean, it's one of the better things, better uncommons in Kaladesh, so this pack also has basically nothing else we really want. So it's a pretty easy pick for us. There's not even really anything we hope wheels. Like, this pack's bad for us. Obviously, Servant of the Conduit, Bristling Hydra, Weapon Craft Enthusiast, Attune with Aether. Those are all good cards. Subtle Strike as well, but none in our colors. But we'll take Harness Lightning here. There are lots of good 2s that we could pick up in this pack, so I'm hoping we do. As of right now, we have 2 of them, and they're both fine. They're both 2-drops I'm happy playing, so at least there's that. Okay. What do I even want in this pack? This is another pack that's not very good for us. We could take the Gremlins. We could take a 2-drop, even though he's an incredibly underwhelming 2-drop that I try not to play most of the time. We could take this 2-drop, but I thought our deck was trying to go sort of an aggro route, but there aren't that many options here. We're not an Inspired Charge deck. But maybe I am a deck that just wants to play Consulate Skygate and attack in the air, I guess. It is another artifact for our Gear Smasher, if nothing else. And I like it a lot better than Ninth Bridge Patrol, honestly. So yeah, I think I'll take it. I don't love it, but I'll take it. Ooh, wish I could splash that. Okay, this pack is, it's kind of like, why weren't these things spread out a little more in those first 3 packs? Because we want Malphus Doorbuster, we wouldn't mind Trusty Companion, and Glint Sleeve Artisan is also very good. And Spontaneous Artist isn't bad either, but we really need 2s. That's one thing for sure, but I think Glint Sleeve Artisan might be good enough to make us overlook this too. And this one might actually wheel. He's not incredible by any means, so I think I'm going to take the Artisan here. Okay, Built to Smash is probably just what I take here over Impeccable Timing or Fragmentize or Weld Fast Monitor. We don't have a ton of artifact creatures, obviously, but it's just a great combat trick anyway, so we'll take Built to Smash here. Okay, yeah, it looks like things have really sort of gone south for us in terms of our colors just don't seem that open anymore. But we can take a Narnum Cobra here, just like basically a 2-mana 2/1 who has some artifact synergies for us. I like that better than most of the other options here. So we will take Narnum Cobra. I guess Ornamental Courage wouldn't have been too bad. So here we have a 2-drop, and I think that's probably just what we take is Thriving Grubs. Yeah. 2-drop. That's the kind of 2-drop that it's usually not hard to pick up in this last pack. Yeah. Terror of the Fairgrounds, Giant Spectacle. Neither of them are cards I'm interested in playing. I guess I'll take Inspired Charge. Don't think we're an Inspired Charge deck, as I mentioned earlier, but we can give it a try. All right, now we have a very good 2-drop in Aviary Mechanic. We have a few synergies with it, and it's also just, a 2-mana 2/2, which is kind of just what we needed. So nothing we really want here. I mean, obviously High Spire Artisan and Thriving Turtle are fine cards. The rest of the cards in this pack, not so much. I guess I'll take Aradara Express. I mean, have been known to side it in once or twice, and we do have a few synergies with it. And I think we take another sideboard card here and Demolish. Our deck's pretty much set if we just take sideboard cards from here on out, but I'll probably take a Spontaneous Artist and play it. Just got to cut something. We can probably lose Narnum Cobra, but maybe I'd rather lose Consulate Skygate the way my deck is sort of trending here. Take Start Your Engines. Skygate's a great sideboard card, but I think our deck wants to be turning our creatures sideways for the most part, so not really what we want to be doing. So this basically looks like it's going to be our deck. I like it for the most part. There are definitely some things that I would have liked to go a little better. Like, I may not have picked the best colors that were open overall. Maybe staying black-red early would have been great, kind of what it looks like. But I think our deck ended up with a respectable curve and some pretty great late game. And I think that's pretty good. So I think this is basically our deck. Let's look at divided by color. We're pretty much even. We do have one double white. And we do have the Narnum Cobra, who's just a 2/1, but I think that's better in this deck than playing Consulate Skygate or like Reservoir Walker. Although the Walker is good with Aviary Mechanic and also not bad with Restoration Specialist. So that's worth keeping in mind. But I think I would rather just leave it as is. And yeah, I think 9/8 is just right. Especially because our Implement is also basically a white card. All right, so that does it for this draft. Now we're going to play the matches, of course, and hopefully things go well, and the winner of the giveaway can get several packs from me. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button. If you have any questions about the picks I made or anything, post them in the comments below. And if you want to make sure you catch my draft videos each and every week, don't forget to subscribe. And also, my content is sponsored in part by 5colorcombo.com. It's a great website if you love Magic. You can find articles and videos there from content creators, including myself. And you can also find a store there where you can use the discount code NITSAHONE5 to get a 5% discount. Thanks for watching.